Right, join me on a tree tour today. I have a lot of little baby trees, lots. And you can bet that I don't know the name of all of them because sometimes the names just fly out of my mind and sometimes I honestly have no idea what they are. So let's start out. We're here in the back garden and this is also turning into a little baby nursery. So I'm gonna zoom out here. Now, I plant my trees closer together than what everybody's going to advise, and everybody's going to say, oh my gosh, your trees are way too close together, and I really don't care, because this is my tree grove, orchard, whatever. There's too many different varieties of trees to really call it one thing. This is my jungle and I can do whatever I want. And the reason why I do things, one, they're not all trees. A lot of them are bushes. And two, I don't want trees this big. Never, 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 never. That is not doable and not manageable. And I say that they probably get that big and I won't trim them. But I have been good. I've been staying on top of things with the trees because I want really mimicking my friend in Lake County, where for like half of 2 years because we didn't have our green cards at that time. We still don't have our green cards. We didn't have our visas. We're working on our green cards, guys, legally. So we didn't have that, our visas at the time. So we were only allowed here 6 months. And there was a beautiful orchard right beside our subdivision. And everything was kept really small and trimmed and neat and tidy. And you can go and pick the fruit without needing some sort of device to go and get the fruit down. So that is my goal with my trees, is to keep them manageable. And really, I have a lot of trees that are going to produce a lot of fruit, hopefully, if they don't die. More so than what we can even eat. We don't need a 20-foot tree producing food that we can't. It's just going to be so much waste. So I want to keep them manageable and really focused on growth. The other thing, too, is roots. Roots create an ecosystem, and if they're all spread out, then you don't have the ecosystem. Yes, you can create a guild around your fruit tree, which I do. Some of them have some guilds, which my son kind of planted, so it's a little chaotic. He planted all the flowers around, and I will be putting comfrey and other things around the fruit trees. We are going into winter, so there is no point of doing any of that right now. My hands are freezing, and it's only the end of October. It's very cold. So the spacing is a reflection of that. It is a reflection of creating, being able to co-plant in between all the trees and almost create a garden in between the trees. So that is the goal. Also keep them small, and then let's go and look. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm experimenting. I'm seeing what can I grow? What grows well here? There are things that can grow in Florida, and there's things that can't grow in Florida, and there's things that might grow in Florida that you have to really manage and work on. So here we have a pecan and a pecan tree. And in between, we have some elderberry. Now, the thing with trees, they will say this tree needs full sun. This tree doesn't need full sun. This tree likes shade. Trees are really peculiar, and they can say they like full sun, and you'll stick them in full sun and they will be mad at you. And you will take them out and save them and put them somewhere else. So that is something that I'm learning. I planted a lot of different trees in the front yard. Now, do they just not like the full sun, or were they not planted properly? That might have been it, because I was sick last year. I did not put my plants in the ground. I didn't know a lot about putting trees in the ground anyway, and they were put directly in the ground because there's two schools of thought. You can put them in the ground and you hope they survive in the soil in Florida, and you feed them from the top and you hope that they establish a root system. But when they were put in, they were not unbound. And so I had all these trees not growing, and I dug them up and I saw that they were still root bound. So you definitely need to unbound your trees. I'm going to have a video on that to make sure that you're not completely disturbing your root bulb and the ecosystem that's happening in the soil around the roots, so the rhizosphere. You don't want to disturb that, but you do need to unbind your trees because they're going to be bound in that pot for the most part if they've been sitting in there for a while. So there are plants that were not doing well in the full sun. So I pulled them out, put them in the shade in a pot, and they thrived. So it is very much an experiment. And you might put a tree in the ground, and in a year you're like, okay, I got to move this tree. So this guy was one of those. This was an elderberry that was growing in the front. None of my elderberries in the front are doing well. None of them. But this elderberry is very content to be in the shade. So I'm trialing that. I've got one more shaded and I've got another one less shaded. I'm also going to trial putting some elderberries along the fence line, see how they do over there. You really have to be okay with having a trail of dead plants behind you. Last year when I started doing this, I was getting so discouraged because everything I was growing was dying. It was dying. And my friend Tina said, well, you're never going to become a good gardener if you don't have a trail of dead plants behind you. So remember that. Experiment. It's okay if they die. You need to learn. You need to figure out where these things grow. Most of the time, some of these trees are not that expensive. If you go with the really big ones, I don't recommend that, because when they die and you spent $300 on that tree, that really sucks. Get them younger, learn about the tree, learn what they like in your little microclimate. Not just what they say. Like, definitely go by your label, research it and everything and try that. But listen to the tree in your microclimate. It's very different. My climate here in my yard compared to my neighbors is going to be two different things. So learn to know what these plants need. I need a new phone because I only have like 5 minutes left of recording time on this phone. All right, so let's take a look at some of the trees we have. So we have an elderberry, we have our 2 pecans, another elderberry, a goji berry. We have, I believe these 2 are the jujubes, these 2, another goji berry. But if those are jujubes, then these might be persimmons. But I have no idea which ones are which, actually. So don't quote me on that. Mulberry, this guy was like almost dead. It's much happier to be in the ground. We'll see if it survives. We have a pineapple. No, this is a jujube. No, this is a Jabatacoba. And this is some sort of pretty flower bush. We've got the other Jabo, mulberry. There's a pineapple guava. We've got a lime, a lemon, a lime or a lemon. I've got a couple of chase tree berries in the back there. These mangoes are doing fantastically. This I thought was dead, and I believe might be a persimmon. But don't quote me on that, because it was dead. It died and it came back, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know what it is. The same with this one. Again, might be a persimmon. I don't know. This is who knows what kind of citrus. Somebody gave that to me. I don't even know where I got it from. But it's some sort of citrus. And this tree, I knew what they were, and I can't remember. So that's how it goes. It's a little chaotic, but this is our back garden. It's going to continue to expand with trees. Up to my greenhouse will go there, or my shed will go there, my greenhouse will go there, and our garden will continue to grow and expand with more garden beds.